committee for Ward 3 candidate coming in this morning. Also, Lori Sawyer looking for the one of the 5 at-large seats in the Attleboro City Council. But they did a good job. See, I like it when you get to hear who these people are and what they need. And, of course, I want to thank my pal Neil Scott. Boy, that was fun. I just love talking to him. And mainly, unusual to broadcasters, I love listening to him talk as opposed to listening to my own voice. Hello, Mary. Hello, Lou. And I'm really thankful for you, because there would be no need for me to be here if I didn't have somebody to listen and let us know. Thank you very much. And as we wrap, let me remind you that in the end, boys and girls, the love that you take from this world is equal to the love you make in the world. Thanks very much for being with me. See you next Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Be the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. 4 Deep Sports is next. The kids are coming in, and they're pushing me out. Don't push me, kid. Don't push me. Kid, don't. Oh, my heavens. I got to go. Where's my wallet? I always worry about the don't do that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM Attleboro. I'm Justin Ferrer, the Sportsmaster, here with Dominic Daniano and Catherine Conley, a.k.a. Casey. But first, before we get started, I have a commercial. This segment of 4 Deep Sports Talk is made possible by the generous support of Diesel Direct. Diesel Direct, the national fuel resource in 46 states, boasts a fleet of over 900 fuel delivery trucks. 4 Deep Sports Talk would like to congratulate Diesel Direct on its 25th year anniversary. Thank you, Diesel Direct, for your unwavering support, helping us provide a platform for high school and youth athletes in southeastern Massachusetts. And we are here with Vernon Crawford, the current North Quincy Quincy football coach and former Patriots player.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want?
Yeah,
me
just
to?
dive right into your question.
Okay. Tell us about your football career.
My football career, basically, as you know, as far as my professional career, I played with the Patriots from 97 to 2000. Also leaving there, going to the Green Bay Packers before injuring myself, popped my hamstring off the bone there. So then I did a couple of other little things like arena football, so happened, some semi-pro just to keep the fire going. But but I had a long line of playing football through my youth. I grew up in Texas City, Texas, near Galveston, Houston area. Always loved playing the game. Was almost just a natural. And the only reason I even started playing was all my friends was playing, and I just moved to the town, and I didn't even know what football really was. I watched it, but I've never played it because we stayed in the house and we were limited towards the driveway. So didn't have a sister, so it was just me and her. So it was just I was kind of like we were basketball people somewhat. So. And then, kind of just when we moved to a different town, everybody was gone, and I was like, "Where's everybody at?" They was like, "They're going to play football." So I decided, and I was like, "Mom, I want to go where my friends are." So Mom just went down there and signed me up, and I just was a natural. I mean, it was just something that they could just line me up, and I could just go run and tackle everybody. It was just something simple, just find the ball. So that's kind of like how I got started. So thank you, appreciate it.
That's pretty cool. So as far as his coaching career, started with Randolph 2004, 2006, of course, that would be the Blue Devils.
Yes.
Then moved over to Seekonk 2012. Yes. And what year did you leave Seekonk, Coach?
Left there in 2019, I think, maybe 2019. So maybe 20. Yeah, I think it maybe a 20. So I'm not exactly sure. I think it was 19 season. So I started at Walpole with Danny Veal.
Oh, the Rebels?
Yeah, I was at Walpole first. So when I first retired from the NFL, I mean, I've still had ties to a lot of my old teammates, and Danny was at Walpole. So basically, I did a camp, and the great Coach Lee loved what I was bringing and how I was coaching the kids, and it was the Bay State camp.
Yeah.
So Coach Lee runs that. So he basically had me come and talk to those guys. And then they offered me to come over there and help them out. And and it was a further commute because at the time I was staying in Quincy. It was a far drive from Quincy every day to Walpole. So I basically went over there, helped those guys out for a year, helped out with the defense. Then after a year, I kind of transitioned to something closer, and that's how Randolph came a part of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Randolph was a lot closer from Quincy. You can take a back road and get there. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, it was just awesome. So and I also got a chance to, those early years, I was still hanging out with Lori and Tom at the time. And that was crazy. So yeah, we was hanging out then. So yeah, we would go downtown and stuff like that, during the week, and that's the year they won it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So my other part of my question was, now I've coached high school ball in the past. So how when you get involved with some of these kids that haven't played, coaches that haven't played at your level, how far are they off, or are they more on that you seen as far as interacting with some of the amateur coaches?
Yeah.
And you got yourself, and you got Jermaine Wiggins, and you have the gentleman that was down in Nauset. Oh my God, I forget his name.
Oh, you talking about Coach Sherman?
Yeah, down.
He was actually my coach. He was actually my coach at Green Bay.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
So with
Yes.
you guys jumping into the amateur ranks, if you
Yes.
will, high school ball, are the coaches that you interact with obviously good people? They love what they do. They
Yes.
want to be involved with the high school coach. Kids like you do. As far as terminology and the fundamentals and the education of the game, are they kind of? Have you found them? Are they close? Or are they off a little bit? I mean,
I don't even know if they're off. I think at anything you do, you know, how you do anything is how you do everything. I think you need to do research.
yeah,
The one thing, I knew what I knew from where I played at and all the experience, and I think guys just use those same things.
okay,
But to be a great coach, you need to find out how to communicate with that kid also.
yeah,
And whatever that may be, if that's you know, skateboarding or rap music or if they play baseball, use some of those terminology to teach them different ways. I think the communication key is the biggest factor.
and that's what you've seen with
And
these
you got to
guys.
dumb it down some to you know, as far as the way you're talking to a younger kid or maybe even a coach. That's why I always say coach your coaches. So you got to learn to educate your coaches, show them, make them do kind of like demonstrations for you. So we maybe act like the kid and what those questions may be.
Right.
You know, so you got to kind of like do those things. So you got to coach your coaches, take them to seminars, do professional development with those guys in order to be successful.
Right.
So it
Keep
can't
it
just
simple,
be like, in a lot of time I am one of the smartest guys in the room, but I still go to seminars and I try to learn everything I can. I write it down the same thing, and I may find one good golden nugget to bring me back. I love coaching my women football team because it brings me back every year to the basics. So the Boston Renegades, you know, I think I won 9 championships with those guys, national championships.
They were on TV too.
Yeah, so yeah, we were on ESPN. So I coached those girls, the offensive coordinator. You know, we're highly talented, but we also get different, you know, women in there that hasn't really played the sport.
Okay.
You know, they're great athletes because most of them have been to college and did different things. They're great athletes, but we have to teach them the details, and I think the details are the nuggets.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yes, awesome. That, you know, that's simple. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid. I love that. Sir. I love that phrase.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask, is there like a difference between like girls football and like boys football?
Nah, it's just they may be a little smarter. The girls are very smart. They are very detailed. They're very, you know, professional about the business. They're not going to try to be Justin Jefferson. They're just going to do exactly what you tell them to do. It's kind of like when you see the college women's basketball where they're running plays, actual plays, the right way instead of just playing one-on-one, you know, and shooting the ball, you know, and that's why we probably lost to Germany. That was stop. Yes.
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't watch the game.
Well, it was by a point or two, but they lost just because they were just flaunting around, passing the ball. One guy just shoot it, and everybody else just watching. So,
Like making like those open threes, even though like it's not a good idea.
yeah, but they wasn't playing as a team. Another team was playing as a team.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to ask you, Coach, what lessons have you learned of being a player to becoming a coach?
The lessons I've learned is just basically just do the right thing when no one's looking. And as far as integrity and your character, it carry you a long way. The work, like, you know, my work ethic stems from more like my mother getting up early. I'm seeing her get up, go to work, you know, 30, 40 minutes way before work even starts. You know, she start her day always on time, and it just breeds into you, especially when you see, you know, it's because I try to tell people it's a difference of someone that's a hard worker than it's someone that works hard. Because if the circumstances changes, like, okay, we're losing, you might not work hard. I mean, you might not be that hard worker. So I try to make sure I instill in the kids over there at Quincy and Seekonk and everywhere I've been is, you need to be a hard worker. So.
All right. What was the best part of playing for the Patriots?
Oh, the best playing for the Patriots. I mean, it's like, ultimate dream come true. Just to get drafted. Mr. Kraft taking the opportunity to give me a chance. So, that's like an awesome thing. It's like your lifelong dream. It's almost like the equivalent to someone kind of like winning the lottery a little bit, as far as like the heighten of it. But it's something that you was working for, throughout your life to try to get to. And, the biggest thing is you kind of obtain that goal. But, just getting the opportunity to play for this organization was like awesome. You got the big game coming up against the Eagles, and, Tom will be here, so we'll see.
Yeah. You going to that game?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. I think I'll be there. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm going Tuesday night against the Dolphins. I like to go down a lot in the wintertime when the schedule takes them down, like to Miami, like in late December, January.
Yes.
Oh, my God. And then you look at the season tickets. You can tell when the franchises are not doing as well because the season tickets are so cheap. Especially when you're walking out of the concourse, you have a big sign for season tickets.
Stop it.
I swear to God, I was like, you won't see this in Gillette.
You're right. You'll never see that.
You know what I'm
Gillette.
saying? Oh, it's fun. But it's beautiful.
Miami, they have that ticket should be going up with the roster they have now, right?
With the tour and all those other guys.
Yes.
They probably won't have that sign out no more.
They probably won't have it out anymore.
It's interesting how that ticket sale thing goes.
Yeah, I was
I
not
want to go to a
expecting.
game.
Yes, especially. Yes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
What is the difference playing between the Patriots and Green Bay?
The difference was really nothing. I mean, just more my linebacker coach from New England had went to Green Bay and I had an opportunity, the chance to start. So that was, to me, that was the biggest deal of going there. And I thought it was a great opportunity, at the time.
Sure.
Hey, if I would have known what I know now, like, hey, I would have had 3 Super Bowls and stuff. So.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
never
so,
know.
I mean, you just never know. But I think at the time, a lot of time, every player wants to start. If you have that opportunity, I think that's what a lot of guys go for. It's not even about money. It's more about just getting an opportunity to showcase your skills.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take our first break. You can call in at 508-222-1320. We have the man, Vernon Crawford, ex-New England Patriot, Green Bay Packer, and the new coach over at Quincy High School.
Roll hats.
There you go. I like that. We'll be back with him and more right after this. All right, welcome back.
Welcome back.
There you go. I saw you pressing the buttons, and I didn't want to get you chewed, and I didn't. I was trying to play off Coach Crawford there.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
No, that's fine.
All right.
All right.
So make sure. Oh, and
ahead, please.
before we continue with Vernon Crawford, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's all one word, 4 Deep Sports Talk, and also check out our TikTok page as well. The page name is the word 4.deep.sports. That is the name of the TikTok page.
I have to say, Casey, you're doing a heck of a job with that.
She's
Keeping up
awesome
with it.
job, Casey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say she's a social worker, but she's a social
media.
social media specialist.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for those of you that are subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Sometimes YouTube can unsubscribe you.
Yes, they can.
Yeah,
Yes, they
we don't want
can.
that.
We have a lot of followers out there, so this is great. So, Vernon, I had another question
ma'am.
for you. What kind of skills have you taken from the professional football league down to your coaching career now,
Yeah,
high school level?
yeah. I took everything. So my knowledge of the game would never, go anywhere. So like I said, they call me like the Yoda or something. Like
Yoda, I love it.
Why? Because you get no hearing yet?
Right, yeah, that's it. So yeah, but they look at it as like, well, like he makes simple. To them it may be hard, but I make one simple adjustment and it fixes everything. And a lot of guys have told me, they're like, man, like, how did you do that? I was like, well, it's very simple. It make all the stuff just kind of like makes sense to me when you're coaching. Basically, just one little adjustment or something they think that's hard, and you just make like one little minor move and to you that it's big to them. I mean, but I've seen a lot of things. I've adopted a lot of things that like Coach Belichick has put in. A safety at middle linebacker in 2001 to win the Super Bowl to run with Isaac Bruce down the seam. You know, so you just kind of like put different people, in different positions to be successful.
Yeah, but
put
you've
them on
seen
the
that
field.
work.
Yes, so that's what you do. And everybody hasn't seen that before, where you may use a kid for one thing. Maybe he's not a good pass blocker, but whatever. So you put him in the game just to, run the ball.
Right.
So little things like that. And that's the only thing he does, come in the game and do.
Yep.
So you got to put him in situations. So you just putting people in situations to be successful.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Well, you guys can carry on. I'll catch up, I promise.
How's your coaching career going so far?
It's we're 1-0 today. I mean, as of last night. So it's my first win. I'm very happy with it. It's also the first game. Got a lot of cleanups, clean the corners. Just alignments. Penalties. And to me, that's the biggest thing is the foolish penalties. So we just got to make sure we clean those things up. But overall, my career, has been pretty successful. I've always started at some programs where I had to start up programs. So, it's not as I would like it, but I mean, everybody kind of knows once I get a program, once I bring my culture, my system in, it's gonna change fast.
You want to make it your own.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, young lady. I know you had one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so were you happy with the way your players played last night? Is that basically what you expect from them during games?
So
and
like
practices?
I said, we do a lot of things within practice. So we try to tell the kids we practice hard, we practice fast. Again, we don't huddle. We everything we do is fast. We think fast, fight, finish, family. And that's the motto we kind of go by. We're going to play faster. We're going to live faster than everybody. We're going to line up faster than everybody. And, so our kids, and, we're going to fight to the end. We're going to finish everything. So we do little things to make sure that we finish everything. And the biggest thing also just to, make everything a family. So that's kind of like, my kids play very hard. I'm very happy with the intensity. The defense flew around there, The other team kind of like, I don't know, I won't say those words, but they kind of, almost took a knee, almost. I don't know.
But that's what's homework for,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, studying the playbook.
Yes.
So how much did you win by last night?
It was 34 to 13. We didn't play. I mean, in the first half, like 3 touchdowns was called back. We got one call back later in the game. Actually, the last play of the game, they had to run the clock. They asked to run the clock the fourth quarter, so we kind of ran the clock the fourth quarter. It was tired out there. It was a smaller school, so they were kind of like, they were winded a little bit, so then a lot of people was getting injured because of the heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
A lot of cramp up.
A lot of kids cramping up. So we kind of just ran the clock. I kind of wanted my younger kids to get in the game and some of my younger quarterbacks to get in the game and get an opportunity to play in that game.
Get their feet wet.
Yeah. So I was. That's the only thing I was kind of like a little disappointed. But as far as like I've been on both sides of the coin, so I can understand the
Right.
coach protecting his players. So
Yeah, and you
I'm
trust
happy.
them. You know the
Yeah.
kids can do it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So let's talk about your coaching staff before we forget, because we usually say this at the end of the show. If you could just go over your staff,
Yes.
so you can shout out, so you won't get in trouble at practice. on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So my assistant head coach is Chuck Hanford. He's a teacher at Quincy High, and then I have my buddy John Johnson, Johnny. We call him. He's the Boston Renegades head coach.
Okay.
So he's with me there. He runs the defense. We got Coach John Orlando, linebacker coach, great guy. Been around the system throughout, so he knows the kids inside and out. My freshman coach, Justin Thurley, really great with the young kids. They actually just won a few minutes ago, 40-6. So we got more celebrating to do. With the young guys. Actually, it was a freshman game because I sent the freshmen and the sophomores down. So doing more celebrating. I have Travis Kelly, which coming over from Scituate, great receiver coach also. Very knowledgeable with the cornerbacks, played at Mass Maritime. Also got Coach Fabian. I won't even chop his name up, but Coach Spike also. We got he's down on the freshman level. I got Ali Slyman. He's his son played at UNH. He's very knowledgeable. Played football. He's like something with the city, like a city councilor. So he's inside the city somewhere.
Yeah.
Who else I got? So I got Coach Rashawn Facey. He's a dean at the school. So we got a dean in the school. He's a new freshman dean. Strength and conditioning. He has the kids in the weight room every morning from about 6:30 before school. So,
Wow.
so we got kids. We're doing different things. What else I'm missing?
So you have kids committed to the program.
Oh yeah. Well, it's trying. We're getting there. Remember, when I took the job, I was pretty much working the weight room every day. I would drive from Attleboro, Pawtucket line all the way to Quincy every day just to work the weight room.
Yeah.
And then I would leave there and then go to women's practice.
Wow.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Revere.
That's right.
Yeah, so
in Revere.
It's a long
Oh, yeah.
way.
Oh, I didn't. I
So,
thought it was.
yeah.
I thought it was in Quincy.
I don't know, it's in Revere, so I go all the way there.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, so it's been trying, and then with my health issue, my back and everything going on with that, so just trying to, once I make commitment, I'm committed. The kids see I'm committed, I'm dedicated, and it carries over.
Right.
And I'm sure they look up to you as
Oh, of
well.
course.
So how many seniors do you have on the team?
Well, I think we only have maybe 11 or 12, not many.
Wow,
Not
okay.
many, and we got probably like 98 kids in the program right now.
Nice.
So we have large numbers, and like I said, our sheer numbers intimidate with the kids. I mean, and like I said, if you're good to play, like I said, putting kids in situations. I got an 8th grade kid. I put in a great way. He's a 9th grader now. I put him in a situation. He's starting free safety back there, making the calls, doing the whole thing. I mean, the kid benches like 230 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strong kid.
Yeah, and he squats over 315. So, and this is just a 9th grader.
Wow.
So
That's
he's
strong.
been in the weight room with me, since February. So I mean, his numbers jump fast, and I was like, I'm used to kids jumping, but not like that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
So how do you see the kids gelling right now? as
You know,
far as
like I
a
said, it's
team?
been a month. I think we're really gelling. We're coming together. I think I don't believe it was still some doubt there a little bit with believing. They know who you are. They know what you're capable of doing. But I think just between the scrimmages, both scrimmage games, and then even last night, coming out the second half, those kids felt. We always talk about finishing the second half's hours, and we come out and we put up. It was 13-7 at halftime. No, it's 14 to 6. Yeah, 14-6 at halftime. Then we put up the rest of our points that quarter, the
There you
third
go.
quarter. So everything, 34 points or whatever. So we put up like 21 points or whatever it is. Yeah, real fast in third quarter. So, and 2 fumbles right off the bat.
Now, what did you see to adjust for the second half?
The same thing we talk about. You know, adversity. We talk about how your character is in question. You know, when you're in adverse time, when you're knocked down, we need to, finish, clean up the mistakes. We knew what we had to do. It was nothing. The whole thing in offense, we just got to execute. Offensive lineman, hold on to your blocks a little bit longer. Give him a little more time. We'll be fine.
Right. So it kept it simple.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to go into detail. Hey, you get this guy, you get that guy. Just wake up and play the game.
Yes.
So you're welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. That's all you got to do all the time.
All right, we're ready. All right, we will take a second break. On the third break, Justin and I have some scores from around the league. We'll cover them as well, get them out as quick as we can. When we come back off that third break, you are watching and listening for Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online you can see Coach Crawford right off our website at all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are covering Quincy High School football. We'll be right back with Coach Crawford and more right after this. Hey, welcome back. 'Cause I hit all the buttons. I don't think she realized she only had one commercial. She probably missed the board. So Casey has taken a little break. You can call in 508-222-1320. We have the distinct privilege of having the brand new head football coach at Quincy High School, Coach Vernon Crawford. Talked about the team and the big win against Archbishop Williams. And one thing I wanted to get out of the way real fast. You only had one break, kid. You lost your chair. No, it's all right. So the upcoming schedule for Coach Crawford and his presidents are like this. They go they have a game Thursday night.
Yes.
They stay out of conference. They play Concord Carlisle out of the Tri-County, Tri-Valley League. Then they go over to Westwood, another Tri-Valley League. Up they'll play the Mustangs. So they have a home one against Concord Carlisle, next Thursday. Following Friday, they are away at Westwood playing the Mustangs. They have a neighboring Braintree, the Braintree Wumps, that following Friday. That's, of course, a Bay State team. Pembroke, they go back in conference. They'll host Pembroke that Saturday on the 7th of October. This is the big game I'm going to.
Yes.
This is the 13th when they play the Hanover Hawks, who upset Duxbury. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. That will be, in my opinion, a little bit of a measuring stick for you guys playing the spread. And
we coming. We coming though.
Then they have Plymouth South. They'll host Plymouth South. Yes. They will go to Scituate, play the Sailors, and they finish up Thanksgiving Day playing their town rival, yes. North Quincy. So it's going to be interesting. That's going to be that's a pretty good schedule.
Yes.
I keep on forgetting Duxbury's in the other league.
Yes, we're in the Fisher. Then other part.
Yeah, is it Keenan or am I?
Keenan and
right.
Fisher.
I
Yeah.
keep on getting with the Hawk. They get the Davenport and the other one. And lot of divisions.
Yeah,
and
so
conferences
they switch it up
about.
now. My side is the Fisher side is a little more competitive than what it used to be in the past. Now it's kind of surpassed the Keenan besides Duxbury and Marshville. But like the Hanover, the Plymouth South, they're very up there. So, and like I said, we're coming. We're coming. Right. My first thing is to win a conference championship. So that's our first goal always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You win the Patriot League, that's big.
Yes.
That'll definitely fill the stands.
Yes.
All right, guys, whenever you're ready, sorry about that. You can keep on going.
What's the best part of coaching?
Best part of coaching, just, getting the opportunity to develop young men, women, if I'm doing the women, so just developing athletes and basically just, helping them achieve their goals of being successful in the sport of football.
Good answer.
You like that one, Coach?
He's like, wow. He's like, that was pretty good. I felt that.
That's cool.
I actually wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you to start playing football?
Like I said, it was just more by my friends, and I think it's a Texas thing where every kid was gone from the apartments. And every door I knocked on, everybody was gone. There was no one to play with for hours. So I had to go find where everybody was. So that's kind of like what I did. So my mom had to go sign me up, and after that, it was just a no-brainer for me.
How old were you?
I think like 7.
Really?
7, 8, yeah.
Wow.
7, 8.
Were you a tall little kid?
Nah, I actually wasn't. I got a growth spurt, around I got a nose surgery from baseball because I think my mom felt baseball was my strongest sport than any other sport. Although I was very good at football, basketball, but baseball, I was like a natural there too. So,
Nice.
I had a growth spurt after I had to get surgery like at 12 or 13. Over the summer, I went from probably like about 5'8" to about 6'4".
Wow.
Yeah, they was like, "Where did this guy come from?"
That would hurt me. I could just feel
in
the
the
pain.
water.
My
Well,
God.
I had to lay in the bed. I had this mask on the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in
Oh,
the house
wow.
pretty much the whole summer.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Let me see how we do. You know what? I forgot to hold the spot. See how rusty I am? All right. So, Tom Joyce from the Quincy Sun, he finally called in. He wants to know, and you're referring to last night's game, how vital was the conditioning last night, given how hot it was outside?
Like I said, we don't the way we do things, and I think if anybody ever come to a practice and they can see what we call our Colorado circuits and our tackling stations and our turnover stations, they see control chaos, for about 30 minutes, where and then our kids just. They understand it. When we first started doing it, kids were puking, kids was all over the place.
It's normal.
And then, now it just become their norm.
Yeah.
It just become their norm. So I think just pushing these kids to their limits, I don't think some people understand it, but me being at Florida State, like with mat drills and different things that we've done, and like, in the pros where they push you to your limit, and past your limit of what you thought your limit was. And that's just kind of like what you got to continue doing. It's not accepting mediocrity at any time. So
Yeah, but you guys know the limit. I mean, you played in the pros, so when you go to high school, you basically have a good understanding of the kids' limitations. I mean, you don't want them to throw up, but the kids that are which you already know that, they're gonna. I hate to say it, they're gonna Ralph.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
Because
Because it's some half of it comes from like I just ate 10 chili dogs, half a box of pizza.
Or a pizza before a workout.
What do you think? Yeah,
Right.
I had a big thing of high C punch or energy drink.
And it's funny how it comes out the same color.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah, we were laughing because it was Labor Day and we seen a bunch of hot dogs. We've seen hot dogs. We seen. He's like, "No, Coach, that was a bacon sandwich."
And you try to tell them, water up all the time.
Yeah. So and the thing about even that too, I run mine more like a college or a professional. So if you're not in, you can go get water or use the bathroom anytime you want, as long as you're not messing up the drill. So get someone else in there, and we have the next man mentality, which also adopted by Coach Belichick also.
Right.
So that's kind of like what we are. So we don't mind playing with another guy, and it happened. The kid came off dry heaving. He threw his wristband to another guy. He's like, just get a new Z in. And the other kid just ran in there. And we don't I trust him to go in there. He did it in practice. Why not?
It's good to have depth, though.
Yes.
It's good to have depth.
Yes.
So what's the stadium like over there?
The stadium is, like I said, one of the best probably around, this area in Mass. Far as, we got the folding chairs for the, season ticket holders. We got the Jumbotron.
It's
we
awesome.
got turf field.
Is it really?
Oh, my.
Yeah, so they're planning on doing
big
both
screen.
sides the same way now. So the visiting team is probably going to have the folding chairs also. So they're going to make it all the way around. So and like I said, so it's a great thing. Only thing missing, I want to try to get one of those smoke machines and Oh, yeah. I want the whole mascot too. I want the whole mascot. I want the thing blowing up. I want yeah. Well, that's the way it is in Texas. So I grew roll hats.
Roll hats.
Yeah, because we're the presidents. Quincy presidents. Ain't that?
I see.
You guys didn't know that?
I was wondering where
my God.
So yeah, we're the presidents.
They didn't do their homework.
Yeah, Quincy, where everything first started.
Yeah.
Is roll hats like the team slogan
That's
for
the team
presidents?
slogan, yeah, for the presidents. Yes,
Oh,
you got it. You got it, Casey. Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, what do you got, old man? You're good?
I got all my questions.
Yeah.
I got a few more questions for you. So, who would you say is your biggest motivation?
My biggest motivation, I guess it'll be my mom. I don't know.
No, that sounds
Another good answer.
That helps out at
I would
Christmas.
say my mom. I mean, it's always starting there. My parents always been there for me, so it's kind of like, like I said, you just always trying to impress. Not impress, but just do your best. I mean, you always say it's for yourself, but at the same time, you want to make sure you leave a impression and a legacy. So people can talk about you for a little bit. So I think that's the biggest thing that you're working hard to leave a great legacy.
Who's your coaching? Who's the coach? If you could pick a coach that stands
You know what?
out.
I cannot pick one coach because I had great coaches as a young kid. I had Coach Wheeler. I had Coach Dowling, which is in high school. I had Coach Rush when I went to junior college. I had Coach Bowden. I had Coach Coach Carroll. Coach Belichick. I mean, I've learned from so many guys. And that's kind of like what you do, and you learn like who's a motivator, who's not a motivator, who's a great teacher, and and that's kind of like what it is. Like Coach Carroll's a great motivator, Coach Belichick, he's a great teacher. So
Right.
it's a little bit different styles, but at the same time they're very successful. All my coaches have always been successful at all levels. So I mean, you just learn from each one of them. Just take, like I said, you just take a couple of golden nuggets from them, and that's going to help you out succeed in life.
Right, you're blessed then. You definitely
Yes,
blessed
I've
with
been blessed with great
those coaches.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I like you trying to bring the Texas atmosphere
Yes.
up here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, because they're trying to do it Friday night lights, and I mean, you
Well,
guys-
at Quincy, they have part of it. So it's not like they don't have the crowd.
yeah,
They have the crowd. They got the stands. Everybody's there. It's the place to be. I think a little bit more excitement. I mean, you can really, get people on the edge of their seat because I think, when we end up going to Gillette to play for the state championship,
I love that attitude.
I already got it planned. So if you don't plan it,
Right.
I don't think you can achieve it.
Right.
Because you're planning on just going to the
Completely
playoffs. Like, yeah, I plan on being in the playoffs. I planned on beating Archbishop Williams. I planned on beating Concord Carlisle. So this is kind of like how I prepare.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I got more stuff than the kids because they were like, Coach, you believe we could do this? You think we beat CM? I'm like, well,
You're going to believe too.
we don't see. We don't see.
Yeah, but CM would be one division up though,
No.
right?
They're Division II with us.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, everybody's in that division. So we're Division II. King Philip's Division II. Springfield Central's Division
that's right, the
II.
Hawks
Mansfield
Division
Division
II,
II.
yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of heavy hitters in Division II.
It is.
It is I say, I mean, besides, the St. John Preps and something like the Central Catholics and things like that. But on top of that, I think, that division can beat a lot of teams. Like,
Right.
It's crazy. Division II is like the hidden gem in Massachusetts.
Right. It's all it is about school enrollment. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's about that.
All right, we are going to take our final break. You are listening and watching 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. Again, the head coach, the man that makes it happen over at Quincy High School,
Roll hats.
Coach Crawford. We'll be back with him as we finish up this hour. You can call him when we get back at 508-222-1320. We'll be right back.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Four Deep Sports Talk. Dominic and I are going to go over football scores, and they are in Bay State, Braintree 20, Hingham 16, Framingham 35, East Long Meadow 7, Newton North 39, Waltham 21, Weymouth 27, Westwood 20, King Philip 31, Walpole 0, Needham 14, Natick 6. Excuse me as I
Bless you.
sneeze.
God bless you.
Milton 42, Situate 14. In Capes and Islands, Barnstable 49, Brockton 14. Dennis Yarmouth 40, Mashpee 38. Plymouth North 22, Falmouth 0. Norwell 40, Nauset 15. In Catholics Central, North Attleboro 23, Bishop Freeham 13. Quincy 34, Archbishop Williams 13.
Roll heads.
Bishop Fenwick 14. Marblehead 10. Dartmouth 40, Bishop Stang 0. St. Mary's 22, KIPP Academy 20. Cardinal Spelman 21, and Sandwich 7.
All right, continue on. Catholic Conference. BC High beats LaSalle of Rhode Island 28-21. Severian beats Everett 32-21. Hockomock, Attleboro beats Old Rochester 20-13. Milford hammers Bridgewater Raynham 40-7. King Philip takes care of Walpole 31-0. North Quincy beats Oliver Ames 35-6. Foxborough sneaks by Holliston 18-15. Dighton Rehoboth gets blanked by Canton 28-0. Norwood beats Stoughton 14-7. Mayflower League. Greater New Bedford Vogue, they beat Southeastern 21-6. Tri-County beats Millis 12-0. And Oak Colony beats Bristol Plymouth 36-7. East Bridgewater, they lose a tight one to West Bridgewater 44-41. Continuing on, the Neshoba Valley, they beat Blue Hills 28-22. South Shore Vogue beats Hull 33-12. Holbrook of Avon, they beat St. John's Paul II 44-28. Patriot League, Braintree beats Hingham 2016. And probably mentioned before, St. John's Prep, they beat up on Marshfield 41-20. Other scores, Plymouth North beats Falmouth 22-0. Of course, again, Quincy, they beat up on Archbishop Williams again, repeat the same score, 34-13.
Roll hats.
Roll hats. And then Situate beats Milton beats Situate 42-14. Whitman Hanson, they beat Pembroke 28-26. Plymouth South beats Silver Lake 42-14. South Coast. Fairhaven, they upset Durfee 38-13. And I forgot to block out some of these other ones because we already read them. Continuing on, Joseph Case, they beat Diamond 25-7. Let me see, going down the South Shore Conference. Dennis Yarmouth, they beat Mashpee 40-38 in a close one. Norwell beats Nauset 40-15. Middleborough beats up on Apponequet 46-14. Cardinal Spellman, they beat Sandwich 21-7. Randolph loses Norton 30-15. Rockland, they beat up on the Seekonk 41-14. And continuing on, Abington beats Cohasset 20-7. Let me go Southeast Conference. Taunton, they open up the season with a big win, 41-0 over New Bedford.
Wow.
Bishop Stang, they lose to Dartmouth. Another big win by Dartmouth, 40-0. And then continuing on, we'll finish up with the Tri-Valley. It was Hopkinton over Wayland, 20-19. Big close game there. Holbrook beats Holliston 18-15. I apologize if that's a repeat of the score. Medfield beats Medway 28-0. And Dover Sherborne, they beat Ashland in Tri-Valley play 34-19. Those are your scores from around the state.
That's big.
Woo, I'm out of breath.
That was big. That was big.
But Coach, one of the questions I wanted to dive into was how hard is it to transition? Or we most likely have coaches, wanting to hear your opinion about how do you adapt from college to high school? What slowed you down? Because you seem like a guy that.
What slowed me down is like, once you go to college, you have more time, you have everything, the meeting time, everything. So, but once you get to high school, it's a little more, student athlete, more of that, and so you don't have a lot of time to basically to meet a lot. So, but the biggest thing ever happened was COVID. Because when COVID happened, now we start to find different ways to meet with guys. So we, instead of meeting at the facility all the time, we do it via Zoom.
Yeah.
So now you got to be a little bit smarter, like have meetings at night or after homework or whatever. 8 o'clock at night, you have a team meeting where you can go over, all the defensive installs. Instead of, giving them pieces of paper, you can actually now just show them and talk to them at the same time live in color. So just share your screen, as far as a Zoom meeting. So that was the biggest difference. Now you can adjust it a little bit, and now our kids are learning more football than they probably ever have, because now you're not just showing them on the field. Now you're visibly showing them, and they can understand and ask questions, because all these kids have a lot of questions now.
Oh yeah.
They like to talk now, so it's not like do what coach says. They want to know why.
Right.
So you got to give them the why.
Do you give them more video work at the high school level than in college?
Yeah.
Because videos don't lie.
Well, videos don't lie. So we watch the tape. I edit the tape. Like I said, we have we can. And what we're even doing at CConk, what we're doing is having install meetings right before practice. So every kid had a phone. They just pop their phone on, and the coach talking to them what we're going to install for the day.
Nice.
So those are things that you can do now. We're going to install this over there. Fortunate was do a lot of walkthroughs. We have Quincy. We got a big meeting room. As far as Adams Hall, where it's 108 seats, and every seat dang there was filled up. We got the big film thing. So it's it's some good qualities of being at a bigger school. At Seekonk, we was more at the auditorium.
Right.
But
smaller kids and small school.
Yeah.
Smaller town.
Yeah.
So did you? I had one question. I actually was thinking about my other question. Have you guys already worked in your Concord Carlisle scheme for next week?
Well, I always get ahead. So I have for the most part been to DC, and we talked about it. Matter of fact, the principal called me the other night, Thursday night, and I was already watching Concord Carlisle. Last year game versus Marblehead. I find the games on the cable access station. I find it on YouTube. I find it. I'm gonna find
That's the benefit of
so
that.
I'm gonna find it. You're not gonna hide it from me. So I'm gonna find it. That's why I love when guys go out and tape the games. The cable access stations. Make sure you guys go out and get those games so I can find them and make sure I study them.
I remember the coaches back in the days tell me during the '80s, I'd meet Coach so and so at Dunkin' Donuts and would exchange VHS tapes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Just to watch.
I mean, and it was worse at Curry. When I was at Curry, they were still doing that. So you were meeting guys going halfway to Plymouth, Plymouth State. Plymouth State, meeting on the side of the road at a rest stop, exchanging two tapes.
Cops drive by, they don't know what you're doing.
Oh my goodness.
You passing off two brown bags, right? Two paper bags. You're like, what is this? It's tapes. It's VHS.
That's funny. That's funny. But he's not too far from the truth. Oh my goodness. The stories I used to hear back in the day.
I remember since I was when I first retired, the Randolph coach used to have me go to Marshfield exchanging tapes and things. And I'm like, he was like, "Well, you're not working in the day. Could you run those tapes over?" I'm like, all right, sure, coach, I got you.
So now, how does the schedule work for Quincy? When do you guys? So you condition. You already answered that. I know you mentioned a couple times. You guys are in the weight room almost all year, for the most part, except you give them holidays off.
Yes.
So with that being said, we were talking about Concord Carlisle. I want to get back to the original question. Do you have a scout that goes check them out, or you just
no? So so now everything is just digitally. So Huddle. Now I could just send two tapes over there and they can send me two tapes.
Right. Oh, that's right, Huddle.
I'm on, basically I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna do everything I've done, as far as in college, break it down. I'm going to see how many times they run the same play, put all the data in there, click the report, and I'll know exactly who you are and what you do.
Right.
So a lot of coaches don't do those things. So, but if you've coached in college, remember you had to make sure you put the data breakdown in before you do anything. So I also got one of my other assistant coaches that with me with the Renegades, Ben Brown. He does a lot of my filming. He does a lot of the data entry too. So you got to have guys on your staff that make sure they are great at like certain things. He's also the general manager for the Boston Renegades, but he helps us a lot. So I kind of brought some of my same core with me to Quincy. So
Nice.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
especially when you're on the same page. You don't have to worry about it. You know, you seem like an easygoing guy. You have to explain yourself, but this guy might be a little bit too gun-ho, and you're like, well, this is the way we do it here.
Yes.
You know, so but that's good that you have those guys you can trust.
So then you got a lot of guys, you know, the younger guys right now, again, you're coaching those guys up, and they're learning as they go.
Yeah.
And by, you know, mid-season, a lot of these coaches are going to be, like, they know all their assignments, but just learning everything about how we do everything. Like, you know, everything wasn't perfect. A lot of, you know, just the way pregame was yesterday, it wasn't right. So we got to do another dress rehearsal on pretty much on Wednesday to make sure that we get our tackling stations in, our turnover stations, that because we work on those things of like how to tackle. And a lot of times we start with bags, you know, and people's like, why y'all using bags? Well, and for a kid that does not tackle, it's easy to tackle bag. It's not going to hit back.
Right.
So now you start to learn the form, and it just becomes your habit of who you are. So
not giving anything away. You're not your approach, but what are you worried about as far as Concord Carlisle on Thursday night? Is there I mean, what are they bringing to the table?
I really don't. I never worry about the other team. I just worry about us, just lining up right. You know, that type of thing. Far as like, you know, the assignments that was messed up was blown assignments. Like the way they scored was, we had 3 safeties on one side, you know, and let a guy go free. That's a busted coverage.
Yeah.
They scored first, and they didn't score after that until at the end of the game, pretty much where a kid decided to run up to help out the pass rush, and leave your guy open in the end zone.
Right.
You know,
that's kind of what happened to Brockton.
Yeah.
But those kids, they had like 50.
So just stuff like that, and just the foolish penalties and just executing. I don't really worry about anything. Like I said, we had a lot of inexperienced guys. We only had probably about 4 guys that's returned that Pat Bosch the experience.
Yeah. So
we got a new crew of young kids, and we got to teach them how to win. Like I said, they're very eager. They want to play. But, I mean, we got to teach those guys how to win. They don't know how to win all the way yet.
Now, how many seniors do you have?
Probably about 10, 11. We don't have that many.
Oh, that's
so
still not bad.
We're very young.
Are they
and
all
so
starters?
Those
starters, correct?
Not
starters?
Nah.
Really?
Wow, I told you I got a freshman started. Like I play the best kids.
Right.
That's awesome.
How are we doing for time, kid? I'm sorry.
12:59.
All right, so we're going to step away. Coach, it was great to see you again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really
thank
appreciate
you
it.
for
Anytime,
coming
guys.
on. It was a
Anytime,
pleasure
guys.
to
I
meet
really
you.
honor to be here, guys.
And I would love to go to a game.
Yes, we
Patriots
have to
game.
figure that one out.
All right.
Yeah, we have to
Okay.
figure that out.
Okay,
Hey, I know you really like, hey, this game, Tom's going to be there.
For Luce Cabral, Justin Ferrer, Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, what I do?
One more thing.
We're running out of time.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, good job. We'll catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Sorry about that.